and jump off in this Lego life.
All right, guys, Legal Life back again. I know y'all been waiting on this one. We're gonna get into 3 things I dislike about Glock. Now, everybody knows Glock's probably one of my favorite pistols. It's a lot of y'all favorites. I mean, it ain't the best, it ain't the worst, but when you get them done up and working right, there's nothing wrong with them. Now, all these guns are clear on the table here. The first thing I'm gonna get into is, and this pertains to just the Gen 5s, is the Cerakote on the slide. Now, this is a Gen 5 19. As you can see, Parker Mountain Machine Comp, Overwatch Precision, stipple I did myself. The Cerakote, or whatever Cerakote they use on these Gen 5s, I find it slippery. It's really slippery, and you could see it. All the moisture and everything just sits right on top of this slide, as opposed to my Gen 3. As you can see, it's more of a matte finish. You get more grip. It feels grippier than the Gen 5 texture. The Gen 5 texture feels like you can slip, and it just, whatever moisture's in the air, it just sits right on top of the slide. And I really don't like it. I prefer if Glock went back to the Gen 3 Cerakote that they was using, because this, to me, it works perfect. Enough grip anywhere on the gun. The moisture doesn't sit on the slide as much as it's the 19, it's the 48. So the moisture is not sitting as much on this slide as opposed to these. And I think that does make a big difference in my opinion. Now, number 2, I'm gonna get into, and everybody knows it's a big one with Glock, stock sights. So I'm not too mad about them being plastic. I don't care about the plastic part, because everyday use, you're not breaking that sight. It's not breaking that. You're not snapping it off unless you're throwing your gun or intentionally doing something, racking it off a shoe, racking it off a table or something along them lines. Then you might snap your sight off. But for me personally, I haven't snapped the sight off yet. On the 35, they actually have adjustable rears, so that's a little bit different as opposed to your fixed rears on all the other regular models. But I would just prefer them to go to a 3-dot, maybe a night sight. You could just do regular white dot. I don't really care, but I prefer them to go to a 3-dot, similar to how they did with the 19X. I think that right there would stop a lot of complaints from people. It's a better sighting system. These Glock sights, I don't know if you know how to aim through them, but you're supposed to put this dot halfway, not sitting on top of the notch, but halfway through the dot and the notch. So it's a little bit different than you'd think you'd have to aim. That's why a lot of people don't hit exactly where they want to hit. But 3-dot sights, they change them out. I think that would be fantastic for Glock. That'd work wonders in my opinion and stop a lot of the complaining. So the last and final thing I'm going to get into, and I know what y'all probably think it is, but it's not. You think I'm going to say triggers, but it's not. These Gen 5 stock triggers are actually pretty decent. I have no complaints to say about them, but it's going to be the grip texture. As you can see, this is a Gen 5 grip texture. There's barely anything here. You got your regular polymer all around, and then you have these slight little grooves. These little grooves and little bumps and humps do nothing at all to help you hold this gun down. As you can see, my Gen 5 19, I stippled it myself just to give it a better grip. And when I tell you this made a world of difference, and the double undercuts, but this, world of difference. Now, as you can see on the Gen 3s, it was a little bit different. I don't care for the Gen 3 grip texture either. And the finger grooves, to me, I could live with them. I could live without them. They fit my fingers. I don't know about you guys. That don't bother me none. But it's mainly this stock grip texture. There's much to be desired. You're probably going to get it stippled, or you're going to go and throw a Talon grip on it like I did my Glock 43. So this right here, this is getting changed out. I'm going to stipple this eventually because me and my girl can't stand the stock grips on this gun. But if I think if they change that, that'll help the gun a lot. More aggressive, give it more grip, a little more to it. Not like a Gen 3, and not as bare as the Gen 5. Give it something. These new guns coming out, 365s and all these other guns, the texture on them guns is far better than Glock is putting on their guns, and it leaves a lot to be desired. Now, if you think I missed something in there, I know you guys are going to say the trigger and there's a bunch of other little shit you're going to complain about, but if y'all think I missed something in there, let me know in the comments, man. Those are my 3 things I dislike about Glock and I wish they'd change. Let me know in the comments, man. Legal Life, I'm out of here.